welcome to the introduction episode of the She Just Got Going podcast, a podcast about entrepreneurship and career advice where we speak to people in different career spaces, doing different businesses, and just their journey. Two important questions we ask on the podcast is what was one piece of advice you wish you could give yourself before you got started? And also, what was one of the biggest fears you had to overcome? And it's not to put an emphasis on the topic of fear, but rather to show just how far we've all come and how we can conquer all of our fears. I've heard an amazing quote that says, wise people learn from the mistakes of others. And for me, this podcast is really at the heart of that, is to learn from the mistakes of others, but also to cheer people on and to become a community of support for women and men alike. Everyone has an incredible entrepreneurship journey, an incredible career journey that they've walked, and there's so much we can learn from their stories. And so if you are someone who's interested in learning about people's different entrepreneurial ventures or just hearing about different careers, maybe you might even be in that career space. We speak to people from the fashion space to photography to psychology to engineering, to accounting. If that might be you and you want to actually, hear about how people have overcome certain obstacles in their journey, then this is the podcast for you. So if you would like to follow along, never miss a beat, know when all of the episodes and everything is released, all the content will be released on the Instagram page, She Just Got Going, and the YouTube page, which will be my personal YouTube page called Ella Osai. So gives it away, I am the host and my name is Ella. And a little bit about myself is that I studied financial sciences at the University of Pretoria. I went on to specialize in management accounting at UNISA and then went on to do my CIMA, where I passed my management case study exam first time. So I'm now busy with my strategic level. And then I have a couple of years of work experience ahead of me to become a chartered managerial accountant. I am currently blessed with the opportunity to go to study abroad to do my master's, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Anyone who knows me knows how much I love my country and how passionate I am about our people, about young people, people that have just studied, people who are navigating their career spaces. And that's really how this podcast was birthed. And so the goal of this podcast is to provide a space and a community for people to just learn from the mistakes of others, for people to cheer people on in the different ventures that they're doing and to support them in those ventures. But most of all, it's to provide resources as well, to get people on their journey, to get people going. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just get started and learn across the way. So on my journey, I had many ups and downs, and I really wouldn't have gotten through it without learning from the mistakes of others, without receiving the advice and knowledge from others. And that's what this space is. For those of us who maybe don't have older siblings who've gone and done it before or have mentors, I hope that this will be that space for you to learn. And so, yes, if you want to follow a little bit about my journey as an international master student, you can really follow that on my personal Instagram page, which is LOSI. And yeah, I pretty much will just be sharing my life, my travels, and how I will navigate being an international student. As much as I love our country, I think it's a great opportunity to get other perspectives from around the world. And I'm very fortunate that I will be part of a program where I get to travel to different cities, where I will start in London, move to Paris, possibly visit Berlin as well. And so I'm incredibly excited about that. And so that is also something you'd be interested to follow in. Then all of that would take place on my personal account. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what you can expect. And yeah, from then on out, we will just get going.
My name is Michelle, and I'm a wedding photographer, and my husband is the wedding videographer in our business, and our business is the Geldenhuys. So basically, how I started, I always say to people, like, I never really know, like, why I got into photography. Like, it was never like a conscious decision. Hey, I'm going to be a photographer. So basically, after school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and my mom always told me that I would be a teacher, or she thought I would be a teacher. And so obviously I was like, okay, well, maybe I should go study teaching, because I think for all of us in that time, or even now, like, there's so much pressure to go study. It's kind of like you have to go study.
Go get a degree. Elizabeth, I want to ask you, what do you think makes a good mentor? So if someone is going into an experience like we did, what do you think will make someone a good mentor for a mentor-mentee relationship?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Ella, because you need to obviously find somebody that's sort of in a similar profession. I think that definitely does help, or a profession you would like to go into. Obviously, it depends on where you
Do this. And so, yeah, tell me how how this crazy journey started.
It's definitely been a crazy journey. Crazy is not even like the word for it, but it's been the craziest journey, but the most fulfilling journey I've ever experienced in my life, actually. But how Lavished actually started, I grew up literally loving everything nails. Everything comes full circle when you literally realize when things start like actually coming into place. And I realized I've always loved nails, always, from like since I was little. Like since I was young, I used to come back from high school. I had a nail polish collection. I used to collect like art stuff to do.
So, as you can see, that's just a little snippet of the kind of conversations you can look forward to in this podcast. I really hope that it'll be a podcast that uplifts you, that gives you hope, that shows you that there's so many people that are going through what you are going through, and that you really must just keep going, that there are people here to support you, people here to cheer you on. And if you are still listening, thank you for coming on this journey with me. I hope you benefit from this, because I have put my heart and my soul and everything into it to just help others, because that is always at the core of what I want to do. The first episode are all South Africans doing incredible things in their different areas of expertise. But in season 2, you can look forward to international perspectives, because one thing about me is that I have been an English teacher online for the last 2 years and built up quite a network of international perspectives as well. And so I'm very excited to share that in the future. But yeah, without further ado, let's get going.